Well, hello everyone, and good Sunday morning to you. It's time for chat with Charles, and my special guest today is Guitar Hack. Hack, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Charles. Thanks for inviting me, man.
I've been wanting to do this for a while, and always enjoy when I can get somebody I've been dying to have in, and so I was really honored when you agreed to do it. So thank you very much.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Cool.
All right, well, Hack, let me go ahead and let's see who we got in the chat and say hello to folks, and then we'll get to the obligatory question and all the craziness that's going to ensue after that.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So first in our chat was Earl Colai, and he's dealing with some blizzard conditions up there in Kansas. Some crazy weather for him. And Earl,
Wow.
I've been drinking coffee. I don't know about Hack. What are you up to drinking?
Yeah, coffee.
Yep. And I love how Earl always reminds us you can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
That's right. That's a good tip.
I love how he looks out for us.
Yeah.
And welcome in, Brother Ryan Hall, everyone's favorite music law. And my brother Ed won a guitar off a fret not last night, and so he is just like kind of over the moon. Thank you for saying that, by the way. And we got Cushman NYC.
There's Kush.
Kush is happy you're here. He's a great guest.
Yeah, Kush is cool.
And we got Paul McNary. Paul, hello there. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello.
And the guy with probably the coolest avatar in all of YouTube, Time Surfing Alien.
That's cool.
And unfortunately, he's going to meet a friend in the hospital. I hope that goes as well as it can, and we'll check you out later, bud.
Yeah, that's sad, buddy.
Mm-hmm. And then we got Mr. BHB Jr., Bruce,
who's
going to be lurking. He's a busy guy. He likes to do things while he watches and listens to all the streams. So
yeah, Bruce and I go way back, man. Bruce is an OG.
Oh yeah, Bruce is an OG for a lot of different channels, and one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Then we've got Dan Gorman. And so wherever you find Kush, you find Dan, right? And these two go together well. And welcome in, Dan. Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Hey, Dan.
Okay. And we got Brother Ed. And he says hello to me and you and Ryan Hall and everybody else.
Hello, Ed.
Good morning to you. And then we've got Steve Reeser. Good morning, saying good morning to everyone.
Morning, Steve.
And then we got Zach Thong as well.
Hey, Zach.
Guitar Hack. I don't know if you know, but Zach has the coolest collection of acoustic guitars.
Yeah.
Let's see now. We got Steve Cassidy Guitar. And if you haven't checked out Steve's channel, you need to do that. It's a really good one.
Cool. Hey, Steve.
And he is saying hello from Scotland to all these guitar humans in here. And we got our buddy Wayne McConnell. Hello there, my friend.
Hey, Wayne.
And Big Wave Dave. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Cool.
And Brother William De Silva. Hello there.
William. So I'm going on, brother.
Another guy. You got great class art. Great class art there. And we got Charlie S. Hello there. And he's saying hello to you.
Hey, Charlie.
Excellent. And we got Searching for Tone, Brian. He's saying, let's get this party started.
Let's go.
And then we got Sean Hockey. And Sean Hockey has this great man cave cack that it's his guitar space. There's a bar. There's everything you can imagine. You guys got it.
Nice.
It's practically a venue, I'm telling you. And hello there, Poon Ninja. Shaq the
Ooh. He's another OG, been around forever.
Oh, yeah. I'm honored to have him here. And we got Rico B from sunny Arizona.
Hey, Rico.
And Papa Blue has made his way in.
Hey, there's Papa.
Yeah. And the Lamb's made his way in as well. Hello there.
Hello, the Lamb.
He's got a great channel. Brian from Searching for Tone turned me onto the Lamb, so appreciate that.
Cool.
We get Guitar Man 45, who's on his mission from God. He's opening up a venue and getting the band back together. And
that's awesome, Guitar Man.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that to all come to fruition. He's really excited about that project. And of course, we were talking about Mitch earlier. What in the Mitch Heyman's going on here?
Yeah,
everyone's favorite YouTube technician.
Yeah, Mitch is the man.
He is. Let's see. And over we got
Judd. Our British friend.
So you can see when you look in the chat and you see that little link over there, those are the folks that are on your side of the channel. Over on your channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see. JP Page 2 has made his way in. Hello there.
Oh, there's a name I haven't seen in a while. JP Page.
And let's see. Martian Murray. Thought you were hiding, didn't you? Good morning to you, sir.
Hello, Martian Murray.
And one of the most interesting guys on YouTube, Hobo Roadie. Hello there, my friend.
Yeah, we're Hobo. How are you?
Now, we've got, the West Coast in Canada. Hip Metal Works is here with us. Good morning, my friend.
Hey. Morning.
Really love those guys on the West Coast. They get up early and watch the show religiously every Sunday.
That's nice.
I'd probably still be sleeping. But I appreciate them. And we've got Arf. Hello there.
Hello, Arf.
Let's see. Ferd Burfel, my fellow Texan, is here. Hello there.
Hello.
And let's see. We got Ryan of OU812.
Hey, Ryan.
And Ryan has a great channel, and they're going to have a Sunday jam later on today. It's just great. 4 guys round robin.
Yeah, they go for it. Yeah, I've seen it.
And they're just phenomenal players.
Yeah.
We got Black Guitar saying hello to us in the chat.
Blackjack. How's it going?
There you go. Just trying to make sure we got everybody. But they're all talking to each other, so it's moving.
That's cool.
Let's see. And there he is, Charles Green.
Charles.
Welcome in, Charles. Glad to have you here.
Man, what's going on?
And BC Rich 581.
Cool.
Excellent.
How are you, man?
So we've been through, we welcomed everybody in. Now that time you've been dreading the obligatory question. How does Guitar Hack start his guitar journey?
Oh, man, let's see. The first, I guess, it kind of ties in with music, right? So the first band that really turned me on, like most kids in the 70s, was Kiss. So, 10, 11 years old, and then I always thought, the guitar was like the coolest thing, or just to be part, or more so to be in a band was the coolest thing. So how do I do that? Well, I couldn't sing to save my life. And, guitar is like the next best thing. And it's always, they're so cool. And the guys who play them are the coolest guys, And so it was, I don't know, probably would have been around 11 or 12 years old that I got my first. And of course, because being a Kiss fan, I had to get a Cherry Sunburst Les Paul copy, right? That was my first guitar by this company called Univox, which sounds like more like they make, I don't know, microwaves and television or than guitars. But that was my first one. And I had a bunch of friends who were all taking guitar lessons at some local place, right? But my parents wouldn't pay for them. They're like, because they thought it was a fad. And so it's, then I'm buying books and I'm listening to a lot of music and I'm watching the fingers on guys on, programs and trying to figure out what's that. Bar chord. So I learned a bar chord and then I just bought a bunch of books and tried to learn how to solo. And yeah, it was a real uphill battle because there was no internet, there was no, and just trying to learn and do a lot of stuff by ear. So, but I mean, I really wanted to be able to play, So there you go.
Yeah, Carp Dog is in the chat, and he's saying, those Mel Bay books, right?
Yeah, that's what I had as a Mel Bay book. Yeah.
So
yeah, there's no Sabbath in the Mel Bay book, though, is there?
No. It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Well, going back to your answer, you said it was really kind of Kiss was really the first one.
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember the song?
Do I remember the song?
Do you remember the first Kiss song?
Hey, I can tell you the album was, probably would have been, the album was Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
First album I ever bought. And probably the first two cuts on it, which is Detroit Rock City, and then it goes into King of the Nighttime World.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the power and of it, and the first time I heard raunchy guitar, like when I say, like overdriven guitar, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I want that. That's the sound that I want, because before that, all I knew was, what I heard on the radio, which is all that pop, like Donny Osmond and, all that kind of shit, I'm not hearing heavy guitar. I'm hearing a lot of harmony and melody, but I'm not hearing any heavy guitar. But as soon as I heard heavy guitar, that just, my aunt had a single Creedence Clearwater revival. It's called Traveling Band.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got that heavy driving guitar. It's like, I like that. What's that? I want that, so that kind of thing.
Yeah, I love it. So Mitch Heyman is saying his first decent electric guitar was a Univox Les Paul.
Yeah.
73 or 74.
Yeah, the Univox. They look good, Well, tuning keys are shit.
I almost died when you said Univox because I've got a black Univox hollow body sitting on my rack.
From 70s. Really?
Yeah, from the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, so you did a lot of the self-taught thing with the books and because the lessons weren't coming. And so when did you know you really had something though? I mean, when did you know this was going to be a thing for you?
The breakthrough I had was when I was finally able to play Johnny Be Good. I know that sounds stupid, but when I could play Johnny Be Good,
mm-hmm.
and I had the chops that I could do that, and I knew where to go and stuff, that really opened it up for me, and and then it's like, okay, you know what, I might be able to do this with the band, and I did. I was in, when I've been, how old would I have been? I don't know, 15 or 16. I was already in a band, with another guy, and we were both Kiss nerds, so we played with Kiss. But I couldn't play any solos at that point. It was just all the power chord stuff, and and then in my later teens, early 20s, I started playing the function band thing, which is dances and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing that, simple stuff, but I was already starting to play some solos. But even then, when I was playing solos, it was I was all by ear, and I was still piecing together, now I know what I was playing, but back then it's I know this works, I know that works, I know this works, and that kind of thing. But it was really when I was able to play Johnny Be Good, when I could do that. I'm like, oh wow, I can actually play this. I couldn't believe it. It was a miraculous thing,
Oh yeah, it's definitely a song where everybody looks and says, "Oh, that's got to be hard." Right.
Yeah.
Or that's got to be hard, and when you work at it and you work at it, you get there, and then there is that real feeling of accomplishment. So
yeah.
All right, so you hit that and you realize, okay, I kind of got something here, and I'm going to continue on with this. So what became what from that point? What became kind of the goal?
Yeah, well, just to be good, and like back then. So I'm talking like in the later 80s, early 90s. Back then, it was it was all about being not just playing, but having the cool guitar and having the look. You had to look cool. Is that look was almost as important as the playing back then, man. And then getting into a band, but everybody in the band had to be cool too. It was ridiculous. So it was like musicianship was kind of put on the back shelf, right? We all had to look good in the photos, but and if we could play too, that was great.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like that back then. And yeah, it was just and then because I wasn't, the best player at the time, I started writing original music. So one of the first sort of, I guess, basement bands that I was in when I was going to college, so I would have been early 20s. We were doing covers, but we were doing my original material as well. So I
Nice.
started to get into that, and I really liked that, because I was using everything that I knew, and a lot of it was ear by ear, and I'm playing chord shapes that I don't know. And to this day, I still write original music, and I play chord shapes that, I mean, I could sit down and figure out what they are, but I really don't care. I'm just going for a certain sound, and I'm finding it on the fretboard, that kind of thing. So yeah, so I started really enjoying that, and then trying to get in front of people. That was always the hard part. You spend hours and hours in a basement rehearsing, and then you only get an opportunity to maybe jam or get out and play maybe a few gigs, and then the bass player leaves, and or some guy quits or whatever. It's always the bass player with me, like that. I had that real good band in the early 90s, late 80s. The bass player quit. Then I had another band. I worked a whole year, got it up to snuff. We only did like 4 gigs, and the bass player quit. It's like always a bass player.
Yeah. Always a bass player.
Yeah.
Well, we got a real good question in the chat for you from Eddie Fay. Eddie says, so is guitar and music a full-time thing for you? Was there a burn the boats moment where you said, I'm going to do this even if I fail?
No, it was never full time for me. I'm not very good. That's why I call the channel Guitar Hack. Like, for the amount of time, I should be like, Segovia for the amount of time I've been playing, and I'm not nowhere near that. So no, it was just a hobby, but but it's something that I really enjoy doing. Like, it's kind of, it's in my DNA, literally. Like, I come from a musical family, so on my dad's side, everybody's got some kind of music association, so it's really in my blood. Like, music is in my blood. And then like, I mean, there was a time, actually, before I started my channel, there was a period of about I would say roughly about 12 years that I didn't play guitar at all. Because I went back to school, I got my degree, and then I had my kids and all that, growing up and all that kind of stuff. So I like, literally, I retired. I said, okay, I'm retired from guitar. I'm not playing guitar anymore. And then I didn't play for 12 years. So, but I did go back to it because of my brother. My brother, who's now, if we're talking players and musicianship, he's the guy. He got the talent. I always kid him. He got the talent, and I got the looks, right? Which is a joke. Anyways, he got the talent. He's really, really good. Just check out his channel, Den Skill Music. He's a real player, and he worked at it, right? And way more than I did. And he's the one who got me back into playing. Basically said, I got a gig in 6 weeks, and you're playing rhythm guitar. So I had to relearn how to play. And that's when I started the channel, sort of to document getting back into playing music. Like, I couldn't even play a C chord, man. It was terrible. So, but it was kind of nice, because when you relearn sort of go back to learning how to play. I was trying to fix all the stuff that the bad habits that I developed initially, and it was a lot of it was locking the left and right hand together and the alternate picking and all that stuff, which, I was always really terrible at, and just, doing a bunch of exercises. And my first videos are like, here's a guitar exercise, that I picked up, right? All stuff like that, just kind of documenting that. And then, like, being away from it for 12 years, man, I didn't know anything about gear, how much it had changed in that amount of time. Like, back then, my processor was like an ME6 or 5 or 7, and now it's up to like an ME80 or something with, so it's like, and then trying to get sounds, and yeah, it was quite an ordeal, but it was fun doing it, and that's really learning about tone, really learning about effects, and going through. And then I document all the gear that I got. Actually, I did a thing the other day just for fun. How many guitars have I owned? And I'm just under 40 right now in my lifetime, right? You get guitars, sell guitars, you get pedals. Pedals, I would have no idea how many pedals I've gone through, but but that search for tone and then playing and trying to get better and all that stuff, like, so that at my age now, I'm sounding better than I ever have. A lot of that is because I got rid of all those multi effects, because I goes everything analog. I know people like that. I have a multi effects thing here too. It's great for practice, but I won't gig with it. And and different guitars and stuff, right? Yeah.
Well, when you had that moment, you go through this period where you're not playing, and so what was that moment where, what was the thing that got you back into it? What was the thing that says, hey, I want to do this again?
Well, it was two things. I had my best friend in the world who I lost about 5 years ago. He found out, we were talking and stuff, and I said I used to play music and I used to play in bars and whatever. And he came to work one day with an acoustic guitar, and then he bursts into my office and he hands me the guitar and he goes, play the damn thing, play it. Because he was a frustrated guitar player. It's like, play it. So I did some run, whatever. He goes, see, I knew you, I know you did, and he's getting like, you get back on it. So he kept pushing me to do it. And then like I said, my brother, who was in a cover band at the time, and got me forced me to back him up on one of his gigs. So between those two things, and then once you open the floodgates, right?
Yeah. Then
the gear starts coming, and the guitars and then the pedals, and then that whole sort of rabbit hole, right?
No, you're exactly right, because I was when, like I said, I came to guitar really late in life, like we were talking about in the green room, and I started watching YouTube, and started learning, taking some lessons off it and learning things, and I'm one of those guys that I want to know how things work and why they work, and so I started watching Phil McKnight, and I was learning how to work on the guitars, and how to make them, try to do all that, and you're just kind of deluged with all this stuff. It's like, okay, I gotta, I need to have this guitar, I need to make this sound, I need to, and there's just so much more that's involved in it than you ever would have thought of, where, I just want to learn to play the thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, if you get so much into the gear and stuff, and you'd spend all your time online looking at what the next pedal is you're going to buy, well, hey, maybe you should be playing more. I mean, and that's my issue too, is you get so obsessed with, the next thing and whatever. Like, I've been through so many drive pedals, it's not funny. I've probably been through, that's usually my crutch, is a drive pedal, and I gig now, right? So I have two different pedal boards. I got the big pedal board for the big shows, and I got the little pedal board for the little shows. And I've probably swapped the drive pedals out of those boards at least a dozen times. And then it's, you buy this, you buy that, but drive pedals and lead boosts have been my crutch, and I think I finally got it figured out. But it's always like, you experiment, experiment,
Yeah,
experiment, experiment.
you kind of figured out what you want until the next drive pedal comes out, right? It's
Yeah, yeah. Well, then you just, after a while, it's like you realize, they're all pretty much the same
yeah.
because they are. They're pretty much the same. Thanks, Kush. You're too kind. Like they're pretty much the same. Like, there's after a while, it's like, and if you try a bunch of them back to back, they all start sounding the same anyway.
Mm-hmm. And Eddie's right. Eddie Fay has nailed it here. Steal a man's wallet, he'll be poor for a day, but get him a hooked on guitar, he'll be poor the rest of his life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Steve is saying, "Yet you're going to need a medium board for this medium show, son."
Yeah, yeah. Well, I got it covered. If I got a tiny stage, I got a little strip board. Actually, I did a video on it. The 5 essential pedals you need for a bar gig.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a little strip that does everything I need. And then all you need is a little amp. I mean, that I did New Year's Eve gig. We played over 60 songs, 4 sets. It was crazy, right? A lot of playing. Little board, Les Paul, that one.
Okay.
And a Blues Junior 20-watt amp. That's it. That's all I needed for that. Nothing mic, nothing, only vocals through the PA. But then when we're playing a bigger place, then I'll bring out the Marshall, which is my best sounding amp. That'll get mic. That'll go through the PA, and then I've got room on stage. I'll take my big board that has, I think, 11 or 12 pedals on it. Just some more stuff. Got a little mini wah in there so I can do the wah stuff, and but that's the way. And I do the tap dance. I don't do any of the switching or any of that stuff. I just I do the tap dance.
Well, which Marshall are you using?
Oh, it's not even the fancy Marshall. It's the DSL 40 CR, and I've had the 40C, which is the older one. I had that, and I gigged that a lot, and then the CR came out, and I sold the C to buy the CR. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's just that it's got a good tone, and it's a great pedal platform. And I watched a lot of the pedal show when I was getting back into tones. Watched a lot of Dan and Mick. Those guys are just the absolute best, and I learned from them how to set up. This is when I was starting with, because I didn't know shit about pedals, like when I came back to playing, because I was always doing multi effects. And one day, actually, I did a video. I had just a few pedals, and I A/B'd them with the multi effects, and there was like no comparison. And then I went all pedals, and I've been doing all pedals since. But the order of the pedals, how to set up your amp before you how to set it up as a platform, put it on the edge of breakup, and then use the pedals. Yeah, the tones are really, really good on that particular amp. I've got a Friedman as well. I got a Runt 20 with a 212 cab. I take that out too sometimes if we're playing bigger places. If I'm not mic'd and I'm playing a bigger place, I might take that out. I can't say enough about Friedman. Friedman makes the best Marshalls out there. That's basically what they do.
So when you're gigging now, are you gigging with a group, or are you gigging solo?
No, I mean, I've been in a cover band now for the same cover band. 8-9 years now. I was a time when I was playing in 3 different bands. I got all kinds of videos on my channel. There's a playlist of gigs with the 3 different bands. Right now, I'm only playing in the one band. But I was a time when I was playing in 3 different bands, different material. One band. And my wife is a singer as well, so I was playing with a band with her, and little more involved stuff, a little harder. Like Van Halen, Journey, stuff that was a little more involved musically. and then the band that I'm still currently in. I mean, most of the stuff we play it's kind of like I call it McDonald's. We play McDonald's, so nothing too complicated, simple stuff that goes over in a bar, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So that's what we do now. And then and I just put out an original song like about I don't know, a week and a half ago. So anything that the thing with guitar I find is I need a reason to pick it up. I have to, there's a rehearsal coming up, there's a gig coming up, because if I don't have a reason to pick it up, it's just gonna sit. So it's good to be involved with bands and stuff because it keeps you playing. At least for me,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, and I find that there are things that take me away from playing guitar a lot. If I'm working on one for someone, or if I've got something else coming up, or life kind of gets in the way. So having that reason to come back to it, you're right. It's just you have to have a reason to come back to it in order to make any progress and to keep it going.
Yeah, I got a couple songs I got to learn, so that'll get me picking it up. Or Charles will ask me to play some track for him, so I'll do that. There has to be a reason to pick it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how often these days are you writing original material?
I don't. It's whenever something strikes me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't force it. Like it's either there or it's not. Sometimes I'll just get an idea, like a melody or something. I'll think of something. I'll sing it into the phone, and then I'll eventually, when I get to a guitar, then I'll find those notes on the guitar and then the chords that go with it. And usually, like it's when you get that little tail, that little piece,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start, once you get the guitar in your hands, it's like when you get one part down, the music kind of tells you where you're going. So it's like you're picking, you're following a trail. It's like, okay, I'm this far now. Okay, now I'm gonna go here next. And then usually the best stuff is the stuff that, within like 15 minutes I got the whole thing down, all the parts. Because it just because that means it flows, right? It's one idea connects to the other, connects to the other, connects to the other, and then I'll do a demo of it. I'll do like some overlays on it, whatever. And then my brother again has got a home studio. Once I get all the parts, I send it over to him, and then I go over there and we actually record it properly. So, and he's really good at that. He's all into like recording, and he's got like amazing gear. Like, I mean, I'm my stuff compared to his stuff is like a bargain basement compared to what he's got. And I just take a couple of my guitars, and I don't even use really my pedals or anything. I just take two guitars. He's got every amp you can imagine. So all my recordings have the best gear, best amps on them, the best sounds and everything else. The music for even if you don't like the music, the tones are great, right? So, but yeah.
I love that because there's a place where you can go and everything is there, and it's your right, and so it helps keep you guys close.
Yeah. The only thing about recording is I hate doing it. I absolutely hate it. I like coming up with stuff, but I hate recording. So when I'm over there, it's like if I can get in and out of there and lay all my parts down within like 4 hours, I'm happy. I just like, okay, play it. And I try to have everything worked out and rehearse so that I can knock it out that fast. And then I'll, give them a couple of things of what I'm looking for, and then I'm out the door. I hate the process. I hate sitting there with the headphones on and okay, go. I just don't like any of it.
Yeah, there is something about that, and even if you're just recording something for yourself, right? The minute that the red light goes on, it's a whole different thing than if you were just playing it, right? It's like okay, it's got to be this way, and even if you don't really know it's being recorded, I don't. There may even be that thing. Your next station, it could be being recorded. I'm not sure if you hit the record button this time or not.
It's like,
it gets in your mind, right?
Well, the thing is, like a lot of times, most like the songs that I have that have like legit guitar solos in them, a lot of the times I wing them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we'd get everything down, and then he would say, okay, and I'd say, okay, I need to put a solo on this bit. So he'd put it on a loop, and then he'd, go have a coffee or a smoke or whatever. And so that loop would keep going, and I keep trying ideas and trying ideas and trying. Okay, I like that bit. I like this bit. I'm gonna remember that bit. And then when he would come back, it's like boom, and the solo would be, So that whole thing of like I kind of being under the pressure, you got to come up with a solo, and and you don't want to. Very rarely do we comp stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
rarely. I'd like to do it all in one shot. Like I'll nail it. Like if I hit a
Right.
bum note at the end, okay, I'll punch that in. But I generally like to do it all in one because it sounds not more natural that way. But yeah, so there's that kind of pressure, and I don't know. I just the waiting around for the next thing to get set up or the mics to move. Okay, well, what now? We're going to use a different sound, so we're going to use this mic and this amp, and da 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 da. And I want this. Trying to find a tone that I want on the pedals. Like his pedals like a spaceship. I don't even know where to start. Right. And it's like, this is what kind of sound are you looking for? That's why I send them the demo. I'll have all my sounds on the demo too. I want something that sounds like this or something that sounds like that. Yeah. Oops. But anyway, but yeah. But once they're out and you hear the finished product, it's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's nice to have something. And everything is on StreamYard, iTunes, Apple Music. All my stuff's on the streaming services. Go check it out.
That fit perfectly. I just put up 80 Face question. Are you publishing and releasing your music on platforms we can grab by or listen to?
Yeah, it's on Spotify. I didn't see that. It's Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. Yeah. Apparently my hit, so at least the one Mitch tells me likes best, is something called Escape. So check out Escape. That's the one people like the most. That's an instrumental. It's just a really hard driving, you know, a very 80s sounding rock tune.
Right. And so, and kind of taking that back home to where you started with it. So you don't really just go and try to write something. You wait for like an inspiration.
Yeah, we wait for an idea.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear all these people that actually know what they're doing when they're talking about music, and they all say, well, I've got files of ideas. I had the same thing. I have like files that are just a bunch of ideas, and sometimes if I'm writing something and I get stuck, I need a part, then I'll go back and I'll find something. So I've done that. I'll find a part for something that is really really cool and I've never used it, and I'll be doing something, and what's nice is when you can marry the two together with. So now we're talking about arrangements, right? Like, because
Mm-hmm.
when the arrangement of a song sometimes, and like what I like, I mean, I generally like music that kind of takes you on a little bit of a trip. So my stuff is, it's not prog or anything like that, but there's a lot of different, some of them has a lot of different sections. And then
Mm-hmm.
I like to do a hard left turn too, or like, man, it's like all of a sudden it turned into some
It
wacky, like,
starts one way and ends another.
yeah, I love doing that. I love taking people on a trip, right? As long as all the parts are cool and they mesh, and that's where the arrangement comes into it. And that, yeah, so sometimes it's a little bit of piecing together, right? But like I say, the best ones are the ones that just kind of flow out, where like it's a continuous thing. You make it all up on the spot, one part dictates the next part, and you just
Mm.
kind of go from there.
I love it. Love it.
Eddie, it's under Guitar Hack.
There you go.
Under Guitar Hack, and I appreciate your interest, man. It's cool.
Yep. And Bo Guitar Man 45, he says, if you've already said so, he apologizes, but what DAW are you using?
Well, I'm doing my demos here, I'm using Reaper, but my recordings are all done with is it Logic. What's the next one up from GarageBand? Logic Pro or something? I think that's what my brother uses.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's got like mic pre's and all that fancy shit. Don't ask me, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a lost with all that stuff. You start talking about DAWs and like it's over my head. I even on an amp, I like a real something really simple, 2 or 3 knobs. It's like it's why I got the Epiphone Junior head. It's got 1 knob. It's a volume. That's it.
There you go. There you go.
I love it.
Cool.
Well, I'm glad Martin came in. He said he can't stay too long. They're gonna have dinner soon. But glad you came in, my friend.
Take care. Have a good dinner.
Okay, so we know about how your journey kind of got started, and that you did the whole gigging in the bands thing, and you've recorded your music. So, how did you get started with the whole YouTube thing?
Well, so the YouTube thing, it's like I was saying earlier, when I started playing again, we're on 2 channels, Paul. Yep. When I started playing again, I just kind of wanted to document it, so my earliest videos, which would be 8 or 9 years old at this point, it's like, here's a finger exercise that I learned, or here's a pedal that I just got, or real simple stuff. I used to get my daughter used to be my cameraman, originally, and and it just kind of grew from there. And then and then I found that there was a whole bunch of people kind of in my situation that were learning to play or just playing, and then started getting into sort of the YouTube community, as it were, and just kept putting out videos and videos and like I'm approaching 900 videos on my channel. Like, then I started doing interviews, and I had a once a week interview with different, like, so that, I mean, the videos just kept going and going. A lot of live streaming stuff and a lot of review stuff on gear, and then about 3 or 4 years ago, I started talking about just music in general, because you can only talk about gear so much, and it just gets very tired, right? So I've been doing like a lot of music shows, review shows. I do a monthly show with a couple of much bigger channels than mine, like in Sea of Tranquility with Pete Pardo and Martin Popoff, who's on the Contrarians. And then I've been on the Contrarians, and I've been on those 2 channels. Actually, I'm going to be on the Contrarians again next month. So anyway, but just talking music, because at the end of the day, it all leads back to music. So talking about different bands and different genres, and we do ranking stuff, but then we do like other stuff, like coming at it from a different angle, and so it's been a lot of fun, and it's opened the channel up a little bit to some new some new eyes and ears. My goal is I'd like to get to 5,000 subscribers. I think I need another 300-400 to get there, but that would be very cool. And then at that point, I don't know what I'll do. Pack it in. I don't know. But that's. Sorry, I forgot what
the question was. How did you get started in the whole YouTube thing? And
that's kind of how it went. And it was really. I mean, it was when I was doing the interview shows, it got really cool there. Like I started to, word of mouth, one person to the next person. Like, I did interviews with actual famous people, right? Or now of course I'm blanking on all the names. All of Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley's backup band, Jeremy Asbrook, Ryan Cook, Philip Schaus, who's also in Accept. I interviewed him. Mitch Weissman, who was a co-writer on some Kiss material and played Paul McCartney in Beatlemania. Like little by little, and the keyboard player from Alcatraz, and I can't think of his name, Waldo, I think. And then some authors, and stuff, and it was cool, but it was a lot of work. Well, you're finding out this, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
Every week, you got to find another guest. You got to find it. So, I mean, I did a bunch. I interviewed a bunch of YouTubers, similar to what you're doing, and then that led to sort of the people, not so much the YouTubers, but the more authors and musicians and all that sort of thing, and then yeah, it got to be a lot of work, and then it's like, you know what, and then I had to find something else to fill that in with, and that's when all the music talk started, and I kind of fell into it.
Well, and that's one of the things I really love about your channel, because it's all guitar related or music related, but there's a lot of depth to it, right? There's the talking about the albums and the music, and then there's the you playing the songs, and or how do you do this, and there's just a wealth of stuff there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was on a show called Live Wires a few years back with Dave Reese and Brian's Stewart, and we had a thing called Riff of the Week. So every week I had to learn how to play a riff. So those went out, and then I started to. Then I've had so many different series. I did, like I'd pick a band and say my 5 favorite riffs from this band, and then I would have to learn how to play them. So it was like it was a lot of work, because I did Judas Priest, I did Sabbath, I did AC/DC, I did Zeppelin, and I had to do the alternate tuning for some Zeppelin and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of work. There's some videos that you put a lot of time and effort into. But what I find in general is what usually on my channel, anyways, that gets the most views is talking about music rather than actually playing it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear you play. They do want to, or your original music. That's it. But if you want to talk about music, or you want to have people on, that's usually what gets the most attention.
I think maybe part of that is it's a conversation that they can interact with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the great thing about all this is we do all this to have fun and to enjoy ourselves. And so it's like when you're talking about being in a studio, well, that's work, because you got to be on, you got to do it. It takes some of the enjoyment out of it. But we do these other things, and they're just fun, and so we can have a good time.
Yeah.
Well, Guitar Man 45 says, not to change the subject, but what made you trade your modern for this Les Paul?
For this one? Oh, Guitar Man 45, this kind of fell in my lap. Well, you guys don't have this in the US, but we have something here called Boxing Day, which is right after Christmas. It's sort of like a Black Friday type of idea where there's like deals everywhere. So it was the day after Christmas, and I was just kind of bored, so I went to see my buddy who works at a local music store, and I saw this, and I saw 2 of these actually, and this one was the better looking one, and I grabbed it and I started playing it, and I couldn't put it down, but this one was $200 more than the other one. And then I said, how come? Because they were the same model guitar. And he goes, oh, wait, we made a mistake. That one actually is $200 cheaper. And I'm like, now I have a problem, because I want this different thing, because I couldn't put it down. It played so well. So then I'm thinking, well, what can I get rid of to get this? So then I bought the modern that he's talking about from that store about on my birthday a couple months back, and I go, well, if I bring that in, he goes, well, if you bring that in, it'll basically pay for that. So that's what I did. So why did I do it? This is a way better guitar. I went from a Les Paul Studio to a Les Paul Classic, which these are discontinued, by the way. The Gibson stopped making classics. I think 24 was the last year. And a classic is essentially a standard. It's the same thing. I mean, it's got the pickup splitting and all that stuff that I'll never use, but it's essentially the same guitar. It's got the better pickups in it. It's got the 61R 61T, which I'd like. And it's like a full blown Les Paul. So, the Modern was a good guitar. I'm not saying it was bad. The other thing too is I bought that Modern, and then a month later they dropped the price by $400, and that pissed me off. So when I got this, they actually gave me the money back at what I paid for it, as opposed to the price drop, which is why I bought that. So it's kind of like it was a deal, and at the same time, getting a better guitar for the same money is kind of a no brainer.
Yeah,
so that's a long-winded answer. Long-winded answer.
Well, I am known among our little group of folks in the community as I don't pay for anything. It's like I will pay the minimum I can for a guitar, and to the point where I will lose a guitar I really want because I'm willing to wait for the price that I want for it. And sometimes I drive Ben crazy because I'll show him a guitar and, hey, what do you think? Is this a good deal? Which and I'll say, well, at that you should buy it, and then I'll like, no, it's still not low enough, and I'll wait. He's like, what's wrong with you?
Like, I mean, most of what I own is used. I buy a lot of used stuff. I buy stuff off Facebook Marketplace. I mean, I bought a few Les Pauls out of the trunks of cars. My RO came out of the trunk of a car. Like, it's because you can get some really good deals, and I've sold a lot of stuff, right? So one thing buys another thing, or I'll trade two things in to get one thing. Right now I'm trying to thin the herd because I've got I have way too many instruments. I mean, I'm not Yngwie. I shouldn't own this many guitars. I should have one or two, just enough to gig. But I'm up to 14 now, right? And 6 of them are Les Pauls because that for me there's no better instrument on the planet. It's funny because I toy around with all these other instruments. Like I'll take a Tele. I love Teles, and Tele is probably my second favorite in an SG. But I'll toy with these different guitars, and I'll do a gig, and I'll use a different guitar and whatever, and then I'll go back to the Les Paul, and it's always the same thing. Oh yeah, that's home. That's the one. That's the one that I'm meant to play. That's the one fits me. Everything I play, I know what to expect. I know how it's going to react. It's just it's what I'm used to the most, and I got one on my chest right now. So, and I got one tattooed on my arm.
Definitely a Les Paul guy.
Yeah. It was funny. I was on holidays years ago, and I got a Les Paul tattoo on my arm, right? And so I'm walking. We're at the resort, and I'm at the pool, and I'm walking to the bar and get a drink, and this guy waves me down. He goes, "Let me see that tattoo," and I show him. He goes, and then he turns his arm. He's got an SG on his arm. That's kind of cool. But yeah.
So Eddie Faye saying, well, Charles, 75 vendors are qualified for paying the price versus waiting for the deal. It's time. If you want the guitar to play it, how long are you willing to wait versus the joy it will bring you now? It's true. It's just I'm cheap by nature. I just am.
Yeah. My RA, Jeff K.
Enjoy your dinner.
It's right here. I'm looking right at it. The RO. That was a bucket list for me. A custom shop reissue of a 1960 Les Paul. That's basically what that is.
Nice. And did you want to show it off, or?
Well, everybody's seen it on my channel, but I'll show it here.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. It's got the medallion on the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the most comfortable Les Paul. It's the most comfortable one to play. It just feels really, really good, But Yeah, so that's this one is really good too, though, man. I did something that I don't normally ever do, which is take a brand new guitar to the gig. But I picked this one up the day before the New Year's, and I'm like, I'm gonna use it, and it's great. But again, it's a Les Paul. I don't need to get used to it because that's all I play. A lot of what I play. So yeah.
Well, the crowd is definitely enjoying the RO.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I use it a lot of my recordings. Most of the Les Paul guitar you're gonna hear is that. Yeah, it's that, or I've got a 50s tobacco burst that sounds amazing too. It's just getting fixed right now, but yeah.
All right, so we're getting down on time. We got about 5 minutes left. So,
Okay.
where would you like to see your guitar journey and your YouTube journey take you from here?
Well, YouTube journey, like I said, I mean, I've been doing this for 8-9 years. The channel's it's been growing, but it's been a slow build, which is okay. And for the amount of time I put into it, I shouldn't really expect it. I mean, I'm not putting out videos every day. At this point, I'm putting out videos when I feel like it. So, but eventually I'd like to see it get up to 5,000. That's just a nice round number, and it's the next one, and then after that, I don't really care. So as far as the musical journey, like everybody else, right? I like to get better. I should be better than what I am for the amount of time I've been around a guitar. Like I should be really good, but I'm just okay. So I should stop with, like I was saying earlier, obsessing about gear and start using the gear more. And I've got courses. I'm not sure, like everybody that has, is most people do. They buy a guitar course and then they spend 20 minutes on it, never go back to it. I got a few of those that I could go back to. So and just try to get better, work on the chops, and just try to be a better musician, and keep writing material, keep writing stuff that whenever it hits me, so that's pretty much it. I'm getting a little bit older. I'm getting near 60 now. So the really most important thing to me is just to stay healthy and stay in good shape, good enough shape that I can still go out there and I can perform. Because for me, it's out of all of this, it's all about the gig. The gig is the most important thing. It's more important than original music, gear, whatever, is being able to perform and making a room full of people smile and get up and forget their day. That for me is the whole thing about playing music. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is smiling faces and good times and selling out places like we just did there a week ago. It's that for me is the best part of the whole thing.
I love it.
Just want to keep being able to do that.
Well, Bo was asking if you have a passport.
Yeah, but it's probably expired.
Because one of the things that Bo is doing as part of his journey is he's putting together a venue where he's going to have, his band is going to be the house band, and he's going to invite other people down in. That's
cool, man.
It's a motivated question there.
Yeah, that's cool.
And this is the most modest man on YouTube. He's just okay.
But, I wouldn't say modest. I'd say just I'm realistic. I'm not delusional.
I think that's one of the things that always has kind of amazed me about the guitar community here is it doesn't matter who you're talking to. 90% of guitar players are going to sit there and tell you they're not very good, even when they are. Right? Because we're all mentally comparing ourselves to somebody else.
Well, yeah, I mean, who's good? Nuno Betancourt. Dude, I don't qualify to carry his guitar case. You know what I mean? So that's the reality of it, right? You know what I mean? When I compare, when I say who's a good guitar player, like Nuno Betancourt, guys who can play circles around me, those are the guys that are really good, and I don't put myself in that category. It'd be crazy to. So I just kind of like, I'm okay. I get by.
We all think you're more than okay. And
good.
And Search for Tone wants me to make sure that we remind everybody about your monthly live stream because there's some gold there, and it's always a good show. And a couple things. Thank you so much for being on with me. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I've watched your channel for years, and I was absolutely thrilled when I emailed you and you said sure.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so this has been a very good time for me, and I truly appreciate it. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh, no. Thank you. Everyone, thank you for watching and thank you for being with us today. I don't see that Laz has posted a show yet, so I don't know if he's going to be on. But remember that Ryan and the OU812 crew is going to be on at 5:00 Eastern today, doing your Sunday jam, and it should always be a good time. Ben Coombs is going to have RJ Ronquillo on later, and so make sure you stop by for that. Rumor is that Pete Thorne guy might go live later as well, so you can go ahead and check him out as well. So it's a good Sunday, and for all you guys that are interested, a lot of important games going on in the NFL today, and that's where Hack is going to be spending most of his
time. Yeah.
All right. Well, and so Steve says it was fun. Thanks a lot. Hack, go ahead and stay on a minute. We're going to let these guys go, and we'll talk a little bit, and I'll let you get to your football.
Take care, everybody.
Take care, guys.